get a notification anything was going on tonight, but thought we'd do a little live shot tonight and let you know we are back from vacation. We had a great time, and we got to do a lot of things. Had never been to Cherry Grove area. That part of it considered Cherry Grove, North Myrtle Beach, but we stayed there, and that was a very convenient location to be. We saw not a whole lot of people. It wasn't overly crowded like you see on the news with Myrtle Beach. Didn't get down into that mess. We pretty much stayed close by, fixed breakfast in the condo there, had them country eggs and country sausage, the homemade, homegrown pig style, where you didn't have to rely on the corporate farms to, get you your pork. I just don't trust the corporate farms when it comes to meat and things like that. Try to get my meat local or raise it myself. But we had a great time. Me and my wife, we went down last Sunday and came back yesterday and been mowing the yard. Had all this high grass. I'm going to tell you what, folks, Grandma Put's Yard Tonic, it has absolutely been like putting liquid nitrogen on the yard. I didn't get to mow it for about 9 days, and I've already went over the backyard twice, and it didn't help it a bit. Looks like I need to rake it for hay. It was that tall, and it's clumped up, and it looks terrible. I guess when I mow it again this weekend, I'm going to have to try and rake it some way, shape, or form, just to get all of the thatch and everything out of it that's got away from me while we were gone on vacation. But I did get a chance to talk to a lot of people. You know, a lot of people from a lot of different states show up at that area of the beach. We saw them from Illinois and Connecticut, New York, and talked with them. And you know, folks, they're having the same issues we're having. Just tons and tons and tons of spraying. And they talked about how they would go for weeks at a time and barely see the sun. They were having lots of heavy rain. I talked to some of them that was involved in the flooding in New Jersey and New York, and they talked like the water was halfway up to the windows of the cars on some of the locations. Water was in the subways and places like that, and said it was kind of an eye-opener. And while we was talking about it, I just happened to look out across the ocean, and here comes a chemtrail, and we were talking about it, and I showed it on a couple of my videos that I had, one with the pictures and things like that. And they talk like their skies are just like they are here. They get sprayed, and it looks like you could play tic-tac-toe the way they're running across the skies. I appreciate all you folks. I see you commenting and chatting in. And Smith Lake, yep, see you there. And I see Daphne and Angel and Randy, Midway Farms, Melanchthon Creek Farm. How you doing, Jason? I see you on here. And thought I'd do a live tonight. Been having trouble, folks, loading to YouTube. It's taking hours sometimes to upload a video, and thought it was the internet, and not sure that's what it is. It's just not wanting to load very well. And also, I'm seeing a lot of restrictions come about now where they're not pushing the videos out. I've been seeing several channels complaining of the same thing that carry some of the same content, which is a lot of religious-based channels, homesteading and that type thing. And even had one of the channels has actually got some kind of a YouTube agent or something, and he's talked with them, and they're trying to push the conservative homesteading, gardening type stuff out of the forefront and into the shadows. And that's what he was told, and that's what he's been telling on his channel. And I've noticed too that we'll gain 300 or 400 subscribers, and then we'll lose 300 or 400 subscribers, and we just can't quite make it over and stick with the 24,000 subscriber number that we've got. So folks, you may want to check and see if you're still subscribed to the channel. I know that we have a regular crowd every night at 8, and I see everybody on the live chat. And but I'm being told they're unsubscribing people from these type channels daily to try to push whatever agenda and narrative that they've got in store for everyone. But we've got a lot of content coming. We've done a lot of research on our food and how bad our food is, and this is one of the main reasons we're having so many allergy problems. We're having a lot of sick kids, and of course cancer. And it's all in what we're eating, and it's in what we're drinking, and been doing some research on that. And you know, the genetically modified stuff, folks, is bad stuff. If it wasn't, they wouldn't ban it all over Europe. I'm going to have to quit swinging. I hope I ain't making nobody sick. I get in this swing, and I get to swinging. Me and my grandfather and my dad built this swing in 1990, and it's made of cedar, and it's been hanging on the porch ever since. But you can't beat an old cedar swing, especially a homemade one. But the other big issue that we're doing some research on too is water, and what's happening to our water. And we've got some issues coming, and there's going to be that's probably going to be our next most precious thing is water, because we've got individuals buying up land right over top of the aquifers, and I'm going to be sharing this information with you and letting you know kind of what you're looking at and what's going on. Also, folks, I'm hearing out of the western North Carolina mountains, they're needing air conditioning systems tremendously, fans as well. It was 100 degrees here yesterday, over 100 again today on the heat index. I think the actual Fahrenheit was about 96 here. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. And, you know, it's just unbearable when you're in a tent. Now, folks, I said a tent. There's a lot of people still in tents up there. And we done a little story on that the other night. And, you know, even if they're in a shed, it's tremendously hot. If you don't believe it, go in your outbuilding anytime and just open up the doors and walk in, and the heat will just stifle you in the outbuilding. And there's a lot of people living in these 8x10 sheds. That's all they've got. And box fans and air conditioning, little air conditioners are absolute essentials. They're also having a lot of failures now on the generators. They've been running 9 months. Folks, there's still people without power. You heard me. There's still people without power. There's also people that are on their land living in a shed or a camper they will not give power to, because they're in the new flood zone area that's been mitigated and elevated to try to run these people off of their land. So they're not giving them power. They're not giving them the permitting or anything to get power, and they're refusing to move. It's their land, and I don't blame them one bit. You know, why would you leave a piece of property? They're not going to give you anything for it, and you know, they going to hang in there. They're just not going to give up. That's not the way they are. And then you've got a lot of people that are just now coming out of the hollers that are, you know, looking for additional food and things. There's a lot of them up there have still been able to grow things, and because they're back up in the hills. They didn't get landslided out or mudslide. They didn't get flooded, but they've been cut off, and so they've still got the fields and things. They're just having to haul their own fuel over there to get it to the tractors or whatever. They're growing their own food, but now their generators and things are failing, so they're not, because they can't get power over there. So they're having to come back out now to try to get fuel, propane, whatever they need to cook with, and that sort of thing. The ones that were down close to the river that lost all their soil and everything, they've been growing in raised beds and trying to run canners and things like that off generators to put up food, because the only people that's helping them are the churches and some of the ministry-related nonprofits. And we've talked a little bit about that. But I wanted to just kind of touch base tonight, let you know we were back, kind of what we're looking at. I hope everybody will check the registries for all of the relief centers. They were just updated again today. I got a message from Holly that she's been on there, and I know Cry for Help, Colton, is in desperate need of not only donated items, but also funds. He and his wife are the only two that's running the relief center, and it takes money to live as well and to pay the power bills and things at the relief center, as well as his home. And he's been operating on donations all this time and keeping the relief center going. And I know that First Baptist of Weaverville is in need of supplies. I know that the Newland area Christ Baptist Church is in need of supplies. I know Colton's in Cry needing supplies. I know B-Log had a really good month last month after the story from Peter Santinello came out. They absolutely got flooded with stuff. Brother Bud's been continuing to get air conditioners and fans and things and food and tuna. I noticed he's seen a good shipment of tuna come in, and he's been dispersing all that. And there is a big need for canned meat in the mountains, folks, because some of these locations, if they have an automobile and able to do so, is a 50-minute drive to a grocery store. So these relief centers are essential for these folks. People don't realize it. The Ingalls distribution place and the grocery stores got flooded in a lot of locations, and there's just no other grocery stores available, and that's all they had. So now they're having to rely on driving plumb into Asheville or to Boone or out into Hickory to get goods, or over into Tennessee just to get groceries, if they have an automobile that they can drive that didn't get washed away. So these canned foods, though, the canned meat especially, the protein is what they're needing, and these canned meats fly off of those shelves at the relief center. I've seen them come in and go out, and they not have anything else from that point on, waiting to see what comes in. So that's their only protein that they can get. I've said before, I'm not seeing any fish in the rivers. Now they do say they are catching some trout, but I've not seen it. I've tried it and didn't catch them just to see what was there. I haven't seen any minnows or anything like that in the river. And to be honest with you, I'd be a little scared of eating any fish out of the river because of all the toxins and things that was washed in when the flood hit back in September. I've also going to have a video coming up on the, I guess you'd say, the facts of Hurricane Helene, on the damage numbers. A lot of numbers that people are not aware of. We're going to have all of that information one night this week on the channel. We've also had a viewer that wanted us to talk to Brother Donnie Neese again. He's the one that has been running the shelter for the homeless, and also been cooking a lot of food for volunteers and things up in western North Carolina to aid the volunteers that are up there helping rebuild homes and things. We've also got a couple of stories that we have located about some people that's got their houses rebuilt that we want to share with you. And there's just a lot of information to come out of western North Carolina for you folks that are continuing to follow the channel. and pray for these folks up in western North Carolina. Hello from Georgia. How you doing down there? I see you just popped in, and I tell you what, I know they had it rough down there. I've been seeing some information on the Georgia and Florida numbers as well that's going to be in that video that we have on the most shocking numbers to come out of Hurricane Helene. That's going to sort of be the title of it. You'll want to look for it. But yeah, folks, just make sure you're still subscribed. They're unsubscribing people from the channels like this and others. I'm hearing it all across the board. They're wanting to do away with this type of programming, I guess you'd call it, conservative, Christian-based type stuff, and they're wanting to put it on the back burner. They're not putting it out there for people to be able to find very easy. So you basically got to share it and beat the algorithms at their own game. Well, folks, I appreciate you joining us here this evening on Deep River Farm. And I'm going to try to get a video uploaded early in the morning to try to, I don't know if it's a YouTube issue or what it is. That's why we went live tonight. We couldn't get the video loaded, but we're going to try early in the morning about 4:30 to start the upload and see if we can get it on there. And we'll just see what happens. Well, folks, I appreciate you support here on Deep River Farm. Continue to pray for all these folks in multiple flooded out locations all over the United States. Just keep these folks in your prayers. Folks, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.